All right, in this module, we're going to talk about the value field settings. So what exactly is that? Well, we've made a couple pivot tables now, so we're getting a little used to it. So let's make sure we're on our value field settings tab and then click on the pivot table. And we've got our pivot table fields over here on the right. Now we're actually going to grab this right here and drag it and detach it so it's not docked to the right again and look at it. So as we build our pivot table, we put different fields in different places. So on this one, we put the location in columns. We've got Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens. And we've got the items in the rows, cakes, cookies, croissants, whatever. And then we put our sales in the values section right here. So that's all the sales that we have. We really haven't done a whole lot with those that are different. So that's what we want to do. These are the value fields, and we want to change their settings or things that they do. So right now, this is just showing total sales for each location and product. So let's go down here to the values section and click this drop down arrow, and we see value field settings. Now this brings up our value field settings box, and we can change several things in here. So the very top, see it's got a custom name. We can change that. We will before we close it. And then the next section is summarize values by. These are your aggregations. Now by default, Excel's either going to guess you want a sum or a count usually. But we did a sum of sales. We could do a count of sales and click OK. And now it just shows that each store just had 6 sales. Now we can go down here and do it again. And instead of the sum of sales, what about the average sales? What's the average sale of each product there? Let's click OK. And we get average. Now, the thing that happened here is we went to average and the numbers look horrible. They're all, we got 8 different decimal places and then none here. So that's another thing we can change in value field settings. We'll come down here, click the drop down arrow. And at the bottom here, we've got number format. Now in a pivot table, this is different. We could set the format on the home ribbon, but it won't follow along. So if we set the value field's number format, that will stay no matter how we change the pivot table. So let's go down here and we've got number, currency, accounting, date, time, all your standard formats, but we just want to make it a number with 2 decimal places. Click OK, and that's much better. And now look what happens. If I change the location, bring it down here, you see the number format stays the same. So that's why you really want to change it in your value field settings. So that's one way you can get to it. I'm going to show you another way to get to the value field settings. Let's go up here and click on the Pivot Table Analyze ribbon. And over here, you have an active field section. Now, right now, the active field is the average of items sold. If I click on the column headings, then I'm on the location or the items or whatever. So if I click here and then I go to field settings, that'll bring up the same box that value field settings did. So we've got a couple others. We've got max or min. We can get the largest sale, the smallest sale, a product. We've got some statistical stuff down here, count number, standard deviation, variance. And that's about it for the aggregations. We do have another tab here. This is show values as, and this is going to show how we can do differences, like the difference from one value to another, from one location to another. We're going to cover that in another unit. So let's go back here, and the last thing we want to do is change it back to sum. Instead of saying sum of items sold, why don't we just say total sales? So I will go here and type in and when I hit OK, watch what happens up here. It's going to change average of items sold to total sales. And that's it for the value field settings. Let's get ready for the next lesson.